Okay, I'm going to do a quick tutorial here on making levels for Cheapskate and the easiest way, which is to use Git and actually subscribe to the repository where cheapass is. So the easiest thing to do is to go and download Github Desktop. So I'll put a link in the description. Go and download Github Desktop. It's really simple. So yeah, once you have it, open up the program, and then you come in here and you want to go to Clone Repository. So you're going to clone repository, and you want to select URL over here. And the URL is the URL for the cheapass repository that we have on GitGood. I'll put the link in the description. So then you just need to pick where you want that to go. If you're unfamiliar with source control, basically it's just a program that synchronizes content that may live somewhere online to content somewhere else. So I can put all this stuff and I can keep updating cheapass online, and then you can just come here and keep getting the latest version and keep working so that you don't have to download and copy your things around. So anyway, that's I don't need to introduce what that is. So anyway, you got to pick where you want it to go. For now, I'm just going to put it on my desktop, and I'm going to make a new folder here, and I'll just call it like cheapskate modding or whatever, something like that. So here we go. I have it in here. I'll select this folder, and now it's happy. And then I just hit clone. So what it's going to do is it's just going to copy those files from the cheapass repository where I put everything into your local hard drive, my local hard drive right now. So there we go. So on my desktop now I have this folder, cheapskate modding. Inside here is the cheapass project, and this is the project. So you need Godot, and you just open up Godot. I have Godot. It's Godot 4.5.1. We're still using that. And then you just want to import a project, and then you just go find it. So I'm going to go to my desktop, and then my cheapskate modding, cheapass, and find the project. And open, and that imports it. And then you edit now. I won't edit now, so you can see import it. Here it is, cheapass. Here's the new one that I put on my desktop. I already have because I'm working. But here we go. If you were fresh and new, you would just see this one here. And again, it is version 4.5.1 of Godot. I'll put the link in the description. So yeah, you open that up, and now you have Godot running with the project, the cheapass project. Let it do its import and opening things for the first time. So the project is open, and the first thing you want to do is come in, like, have a look at this README, because it has this important information here, and it's the README right down here. This step in the future will go away. The application will do this for you, but right now you have to create an export preset, and the application will edit that for you in the future, but it needs to be there to begin with. And like I said, in the future this will get created for you. So save this, because you're going to need this name. You want to just copy this to export cheapskate level, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to go up to project, export, and then we're going to add a Windows desktop export preset, and we're going to call it this. And that's all we need to do. It's very easy. So let's do it. Go to project, export, we hit the add button up here, and then scroll down to Windows, and now we have a Windows desktop export preset. Let's select it, and over here on the name, replace it with that, export cheapskate level. And just hit close, and you can hit save or whatever, but you don't need to. It saves it in the project, and you can see it here again. If you want to make sure it's there, just hit project, export, and you'll see it's sitting right here, export cheapskate level. So we have an export preset now, and it's called the appropriate thing. Cool. So that's important. It uses that during the export. And then over here there's a template project. So in levels there's a template project, the template level. You can take that and duplicate it and call it what you want it. And I recommend that you call your levels, that you prefix them like with your unique handle. So like I'm whatever, JDS, that's kind of not so unique, so I'll put like cheapskate or cheap level. And then that's like my prefix that I'm going to put in front of all my levels that I make. And then I'll call it something. So this is my, like tutorial video, whatever. So there we go. So I've duplicated the template level over here now. Here's my JDS cheap level tutorial video. And then inside here, what you really want to do, so I just hit rename so that I can access this. Call everything the same name. So I just rename this the same name. That's the GD is the script for the level. This JPEG is the preview image when you're in the level select menu. This is just a screenshot of the level. And then this SCN is the actual scene. This is the actual level. So I rename everything so we're all like the same name. My new level is the JDS cheap level tutorial video. That's a long name. And I have my script, my JPEG, and my thing. So that's all here. And then same thing, what you need is a config file so that the application, can, make your level package and the game can consume it. So let's just do that really quickly. I'll just open this. Not that I need to, but here's just to show you. Here's what the template level looks like. It's just a floor with a kill plane under it and a spawn node, which is required. Cheapass the donkey will go away. He's just in here for fun for now, and just a ledge, just showing you how to make ledges out of boxes and how to make a grind. And underneath is the warp trigger. So yeah, nothing to this. It's just a super basic level. But yeah, let's run our application. This is the actual project. We run the project, and then that brings up the interface, and that helps us to create our package. And so ultimately your level is going to be two files. It's going to be an info pack and a level pack. The info pack is just a very small amount of information, basically the text that's in here and the thumbnail. And that's what the game uses in the level select menu. And then when you select one, it loads the actual level pack. So let's create our config file, because as you can see, the template level over here has a config file, but our level that we duplicated, we don't have a config file yet. So like I said, we run the application and then we'll make a config file. So here it is. We can just start filling it in. For me, what I do for the level ID is I do like the actual name of the level. So the same thing that I wrote, over here, which was the folder name. Basically, the folder name is going to be the source of all truth. Like that's going to be what it uses to name your config file. That's what the game uses to find the files inside and everything. So anyway, I generally start with that. So I name it that. And the cool thing about your ID is it automatically gets generated a checksum. So that's this code over here. And that's what the game will use inside for like your save and things like that. So the reason there's an ID, here's the human readable ID that you can edit, and then here's like the checksum version that the game's going to use, and then the display name. And the reason there's a difference between display name and the ID is you can change this. So I can say like, okay, I'm going to call my level my little level, right? And cool level, and it's made by me, and the team credits is really just me for this one. And then later on, suppose I'd been working on this level for a while and stuff, and then I decided I wanted to change the name, and I'm like, oh, you know what, my level got bigger, it's not so little anymore, so I'm going to actually want to call it my big level. I can rename the display name, so in the game, what everyone sees is just this, and it's changed because I'm like, oh, it's actually a big level, I want to call it my big level. But the ID is still the same. So the core checksum ID, which is what, again, like I said, the game uses to save in your game save, to save like your progress, your high scores, your high combos, high bails, that won't change. So you can change the name of your level, the display name, as many times as you want as you're making your level and changing your mind and stuff. But like if you've been sharing it with people and stuff like that, like they'll still have they're saved. You know what I mean? Like the game still sees it as the same level in terms of like the save data. Anyway, that's just a quick explanation of why the ID and the display name is separate. It's so that you can change the display name, every time you decide you want to change it, and you won't lose any saved, progress in your game if you've been playing the level and you want to remember your high scores. In any case, sorry. So when we're making a config file, like I said, you got to give it an ID. I just use the name of the folder, which is really the core, my kind of code name for the level, and then the display name is just whatever you want. That's what's going to show up in the list in the game. And then your description, because that also shows up in the level select. The team shows up in the level select, so does credits. And then this is the information that it needs to be able to make the package. So you got to tell it where the level folder is, and this is the level folder here, so I select it. Then you got to find the actual scene, so I browse inside there, and then here's my actual scene. Remember I said the .tscn is the actual level file, the scene. And then the thumbnail, like I said, that's what shows up. So I go inside here, and here's my thumbnail, and that's what shows up when you're in the level select menu. Cool. So now that I have that, I can hit save. I've updated this also that if you forgot to hit save and you just went in to start exporting your info pack and your level pack, it would automatically save first for you. But here, I'll quickly save. There's a new log up here that shows you, so you can see, cool, it's saved. And then the other cool new addition is the export location. So you want to set that. So basically, you know, you're going to export here. So you're exporting your level. It's like, where do you want it to go? Really, place that I like to go is to let's just add it to like where my game is. So I can go into Steam and find Cheapskate and go to Manage and browse local files, and that'll pull up the location of where it is. And then it's like, here's the levels folder. So you want to put your levels in the levels folder. So I can actually just like copy this, I believe, and paste it into here. I can browse folder. Let's see if I can get to that. Yes, it let me get right to this. So you could paste it right into here, the export location, set current location. So now you can see here the export location. It's going to go, this is where it's going to export my levels. Okay, so now that that's all done and we have set our ID, we have given it a display name, a description, team name, credits. We have specified the folder where our level exists. We have specified our actual level scene, and we have specified our level thumbnail. So that's all the information that exists in the config file. And basically the config file and the thumbnail go into the info pack. And the info pack is what the game uses to find information about the levels that the game has. So when the game first loads, it loads all these info packs, it scans this level, and it finds them all, and then it knows all the information about all the levels. And you can see here that they're small files compared to the whole level. So that you're not loading the whole level when you're browsing the level select menu. It's only when you select the level that it actually then loads like the entire level. So that's the reason why there's those two. So let's go back and create. Let's hit the button and create it. So we have done all that, and we've also specified our export location, which we're going to put it right up to where our Steam game is. So let's hit export info pack. It's working. Takes a couple seconds, so we have some output here now, success, and we have, like I said, a log now, so you can see the information. It started, it exported, you can see where it exported it to. Tutorial, here it is, JDS cheap level tutorial video underscore info dot pack, and it's over there in my Steam. So okay, so let's export the actual level now. Boom. And the first time you do this, you know, you need to export the info pack and the level pack because they don't exist. But generally in the future, when you're editing your level, you're just exporting your level pack because only your level has changed. You only need to update your info pack if any of the information inside here has changed. If you change the name of your level, or, you know, the description or the team name, or if you change the thumbnail. So any information in here that changes, you need to update your info pack. But as far as editing your actual level, then you only really need to re-export your level pack. So there we go. We see it's completed, started, finished. It did it here. Here's the actual file, JDS cheap level tutorial video underscore level dot pack. So we can run now. I can just close this and we can quickly run. This was back, again, remember Steam apps. This was the location of my Steam game, the game from Steam. And the level should be in here. JDS, see here it is, JDS cheap level tutorial video info pack. It built it and copied it to there. There we go. So let's go back to our executable. We can run the game, and that should show up in our drop-down list of levels. Here we go. What did I call it? I called it My Big Level. So here it is, My Big Level. There's the screenshot because I just copied the screenshot. Oh, I haven't edited the level anyway. And here we go. I'm in the level. It's a blank level. There's nothing here but this. And the trigger that now has been added to this level. So if I fall off the edge, I'll teleport back. And that's that. That's it. So now I have a level that I can start editing. And really quickly, we can just do that. So here's my level. And let's just, for now, just duplicate this ledge, and we'll see that there's 2 ledges here. And let's just move cheapass out of the way. And let's see where the spawn node is. Let's put the spawn node in between these 2. Or no, let's just move these 2 ledges so they're more in between here when we spawn. Cool. And let's just make sure that we see that happen, right? Here, let's even duplicate them more. Let's make more. Bang, that's fun. Cool. So here we go. Let's hit play on this project to bring up the export interface. Here it is. Let's open our config file, JD's cheap level tutorial video config. Boom, here it is. So we know what file we're working with. Here's all information. The export location was already saved. We don't need to keep doing that. And then we don't need to export the info pack because we didn't change anything here. We just changed our level. So let's export the level pack. See the information here. It's working. And there we go. It's finished. Success. Can close this. One thing, actually, this is cool. I'll show a new thing. Run the game here. I could have left the game running, which is pretty cool. We'll do it again here. What's it called? My big level. Boom, here we go. Alright, here's this cool stuff. So yeah, I'll show you. We can leave the game running. I'll just leave this running. And we'll go back to editing because it's much more faster flow now. Let's make a wall really quickly. So I'm going to work with this box, the CSG containers. It's just easy. So I'll put one here. Let's make it kind of wider and taller. Whoa, not 50, maybe 5. It doesn't even need to be that tall. Let's make it 3 meters tall. And we'll put it at 1.5 above the ground so that it is actually completely above the ground. Maybe it can be a little taller. Screw it. Let's make it 4. And we'll put it 2 above the ground so it's completely. And then, yeah, I'm going to add the metadata flags as a string and say wall ride. And that will make this wall rideable and wall plantable. Cool. So I'll just put this here, just so we see. I'll even put, pardon me, a material on it. Let's wood. How about wood? There we go. So it'll be wood, kind of like those other ones. And there we go. Let's make sure again our spawn node. Yep, we spawn facing here, and then we'll see that wood wall there. So let's export this. Open our config file, and then just export the level pack. Wait for it to do its work. Boom, done. Close this, and then now I added this functionality so you can reselect the current level. Ooh, that didn't do it. Oh, right, I haven't updated. This is Steam version. I haven't updated Steam. That's why. So yeah, let's just switch back to this. And then for now, yeah, you gotta do this, unfortunately. But with the newest version, you can just reload the level and it'll actually load, which is great. Whoops, I didn't give this any collisions, so let's do that. I'll leave it running, even though, yeah, we're gonna have to go back and forth, but that's okay. So here's my wall. I'll just rename this over here, wall. And yeah, give it collision. There we go, and we'll rerun this. So yeah, that was just a quick demo. I just wanted to show basically how to get the project with using source control. So okay, cool. I've opened the CFG and then I'm exporting the level pack. Boom, done. Success. Bang, put that back, and then here we are. Like I said, for now I have to load a different level and then load my level, but I've updated Steam the Steam, version of the game will be updated by the time this video goes up. So you can actually just select the level that you're currently on and it'll work. So here we go. This now has collision, and so you can see I put everything like way too close together. But anyways, just a quick test to show you. Woo. I gotta do caveman to wall ride. That'll be the best. That'll be so cool because you can caveman into grinds, and you can caveman into flip tricks. You can also caveman into jumps, grabs. But it'd be cool to caveman into a wall ride. But anyway, yes, cool. So yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to show. Woo! I need to put another wall over here, then I could go forever. So yeah, the main thing was that, like, basically how to use GitHub Desktop to pull the project. Because now, the key thing with this is that anytime I update, so if I'm going to constantly be updating this package maker and the project, so in the future, to get those updates, I would just come in here and pull. Here's my new cheapass project. I'll just come in here and pull. So anyway, that's what I wanted to show you. Hopefully that's helpful to anyone. But yeah, instead of just downloading, instead of just coming here and downloading this as a zip, and then anytime I make an update, having to download this and copy your level into it again, like, it's better to just, so to speak, subscribe to the GitGood repo, and you can do it really simply with, like I said, with GitHub Desktop. So hopefully that helps.